Take just one look at Prince of Persia for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, and you know it's a pretty game. Not only are its beautiful and vibrant cel-shaded visuals easy on the eyes, but they signal a return to the storybook vibe of 2003's Sands of Time, a vibe that all but disappeared from that game's 2 sequels. Throw in some easy but awesome looking acrobatic moves and some easy but cinematic combat, and you have a magical and rewarding game that doesn't always cast the perfect spell, but is still bound to dazzle you for its intricate level design and user friendliness.
Hold on!
The Prince is a different hero than the one in the Sands of Time series, though he does pull off some of the same moves. As the Prince, you will climb up and run along walls, swing from pole to pole, and leap across wide chasms. The best additional platforming move is the roof run, where the Prince scuttles along the ceiling in an almost monkey-like fashion. It looks really cool and it's fluidly animated, and aside from a few rare glitches, all of these actions are smooth and beautiful and they string together seamlessly. Combining these moves can make for some great looking feats, but they're incredibly simple to control. Most standard moves are performed with a single button, and the Prince will do a lot of things on his own with minimal player input. Yet the real big addition to the gameplay over the previous games is that of the princess, Elika. She's a persistent companion and she occasionally needs a little help, so she might jump on your back for a ride as you scuttle across some vines, for example. Her constant presence will make you grow quite fond of her, a feature that may remind you a bit of Yorda's relationship with Eco in 2001's Eco for the PlayStation 2. Yet, unlike Yorda, Elika is perfectly self-sufficient, and in fact, she will get you out of far more jams than you'll get her out of. That's because there is no death at all in Prince of Persia, and Elika is your constant savior. Should you fall, the agile Elika will always be there to pull you back to safety, meaning the last checkpoint. So, aside from the minor inconvenience of restarting a short sequence, death is nothing to fear. Combined with a simple control scheme and the fact that you can activate a glowing trail to determine exactly where you need to go next, the entire experience is incredibly easy. So, if you were expecting an old school challenge, you'll be sorely disappointed, considering that Prince of Persia is, without a doubt, the easiest game yet in the series. On the other hand, the level design is so brilliant and the visual design so magical that you'll still be satisfied with most of what the game offers. This is an open world title, and your goal is to cleanse each scourged area by climbing, jumping, and scooting to its fertile ground. Before you cleanse, your surroundings are dark and foreboding as if color and light have been sucked away. Once you reach your destination, Elika heals the area in a scene reminiscent of similar moments in Okami for the PlayStation 2 and the Wii. Along the way, you'll need to collect glowing orbs, and by doing so, you'll unlock new areas to heal. You'll also unlock new so-called powers for Elika, which really means you can start to utilize the 4 different types of magical plates scattered around the world. Each of these types of plates initiates a different spectacular-looking move. Red and blue ones are functionally the same pretty much, sending you flying towards the next plate or platform. Green plates turn you into a sort of Middle Eastern Spider-Man, quickly scaling walls and ceilings while avoiding obstructions. Yellow plates, on the other hand, are the most unusual and initiate the most irritating sequences. It's like a fully 3D version of Nights into Dreams, and you fly through the environment on rails, though you have to avoid obstacles while you do it. The strong visual effect and constant camera adjustments make it a pain to figure out which direction you need to go to avoid any upcoming obstacles, or whether you need to avoid them at all. Of course, death is a mere minor inconvenience, but the yellow-plated flights of fancy aren't as wonderfully designed as the others. But when these plate jumps are combined with standard moves and strung together in succession, the platforming is a total riot. You'll be running along a wall, sliding down a ramp, and flitting off from one plate to another. You'll see some of the same environments from multiple angles, and green plates will often completely change your point of view, making Prince of Persia one of the few games in which you'll appreciate how terrific its camera is. Of course, there is more than platforming. You'll engage a few bosses and a few standard enemies using your sword and gauntlet, and Elika is more than happy to help out using her magic attack. You only take on a single enemy at a time, and each battle utilizes heavy doses of God of War-style QuickTime events. These kind of events are a pure annoyance in many other games, yet here they're so cinematic and fun to watch that they're hard not to appreciate. You can string moves into equally terrific looking combos, but like the platforming, the combat is ultra forgiving since Elika can save you from death. And while it never feels quite right, thanks to the extreme camera lock-on and heavily restricted movement during battle, combat is all good fun and never the main focus. A word of advice. Don't stop playing when the credits begin to roll, because if you do, you'll miss out on Prince of Persia's terrific ending, which sets up a sequel with sincere emotion rather than a frustrating cliffhanger. Not that it's ever about the plot as much as it's about the growing affection between two great main characters and how fortunate it is that we get to join them on their journey. Prince of Persia isn't without its drawbacks, but its fantastic world design and stunning visuals make it hard to resist the spell of enchantment it casts.